All right, so let's go ahead and look at problem number 4 inside your book. Make sure we turn to the correct page. What page is it, Taiwan? Page 14. All right, we're solving a real world problem. So when they say real world problem, what strategy do we typically use to solve this? RDW. Somebody tell me, what does the R mean in RDW? Class, what does it mean? Read. So we read the problem. What are our expectations? What do we need to do when we read the problem? What's the first thing we do?
You need to list what you know and what you need to find.
We need to list what we know, what we need to figure out. What's the second step we do? Second part of reading. We're going to annotate it, okay? So we're not just circling and underlining for no reason, right? All right, the next step, what does D stand for? Draw. We're going to see if we can draw a picture that matches our equation. So when we think about this, our picture is probably going to be one of our strategies that we use today. Whether it's a number line, whether it was a tape diagram, or whether it's an array, okay? And the third step, what does the W stand for? Wallace? Right. So in that case, we have two parts. The first part is making sure that we write an equation, and the second part is making sure we write our answer in a what? In a complete sentence. All right, so we're going to go ahead and prepare ourselves to read it the first time and be prepared to listen. What do you know? What do you need to figure out? Everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Blake has 19 yards of fabric. He uses 1/3 of the fabric to make a quilt. How many yards of fabric does Blake use to make a quilt?
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give you like 2 minutes to figure out what do you know, what do you need to figure out, and prepare for me to call you on using Class Dojo. So when I come around to look at your paper, I should not see annotations first because you don't know why you're circling and underlining that. I need to see what on your paper first, Miss Michaela. Say a little louder for the people in the back.
What we know and what we don't know.
What do we know? What are we trying to figure out? All right, so I need to be on this page. What do you know from this problem? What are you trying to figure out? What do you know? That's what I'm looking for.
In third grade, read is like RDW, but with added another W. So RDW.
WW, yeah, because the first W is writing an equation, the second one is writing a complete sentence. Thank you, Mr. Tyler. I still expect you to solve it. All right, looks good. I already have somebody who has 2 things underneath what we know, and she has another thing that's what she's trying to figure out. It looks great. Come on, I need you to write a little faster and a little bigger. I can't see that. You want to go up to the board? I know. You got some people rooting IB. I like how when I come around, I see some people do bulleted lists. I might use yours up there for example, okay? So I'm gonna give you about 30 seconds. We're gonna get somebody from Class Dojo real quick before I share out an example of what your problem could look like. So let's see who we have. Jacoby, would you like to share out something that you put on? What do you know? What are you trying to figure out? We got a whole bunch of hands up.
Blake has 19 yards of fabric.
Talk a little louder. What you put that under? All right. And then we have Michaela.
Well, we know that Blake has 19 yards of fabric, and he also has 1/3 of fabric.
All right, Miss Ayana.
For something that we need to find out, I put how many yards of fabric does Blake use for the quilt?
All right, so here is, good morning. Here is Miss Kim's work. Kim, would you like to come up and share what you put on yours? ahead, share out, Kim.
So first I label what we know, and then I put bulletin marks to show that they were separate from each other. And I put 19 yards of fabric. For the other one, I put he uses 1/3 of the fabric to make the quilt. And I put the line, and I put what we need to find out. And I put on those to think, and I put how many yards of fabric Blake uses for the quilt, and then I went to annotate it.
Okay, would anybody like to give Kim some feedback? All right, Miss Bailey.
I like how Kim did bulletin mark, but didn't make it too long.
Okay, she was simplified. Anybody else would like to add on to what Bailey said? Agree, disagree, add on. Michaela?
I agree with Bailey because the way she used the bulletin mark, it shows that she's talking about different things.
All right, so that was great work, Kim. Kiss your brain. So make sure you have on your papers to where, what do we know? Those 19 yards, that's something that we can go ahead and make sure when we annotate. We'll have that as well as the 1/3. And we trying to figure out how many. So remember, what's the purpose of us listening first before we actually annotate, you guys? Why do we do that? Coy, why do we do that? Why are we annotating first? I mean, not annotating. Why we listen out before we annotate? What's the purpose of it? You can skip a step, get the wrong answer. Taiwan, you had your hand up? This what you're gonna say. Michaela, what do you think?
We do that because if we just circle what we know, we probably don't really know what we're circling.
Yeah, so it's just pretty much gaining better understanding of what we're annotating so we can figure out what this problem actually asking us. So as we annotate the problem, it says Blake has 19 yards of fabric. So what am I circling, what am I underlining here? Taiwan?
You circle 19 and you underline 1.
Okay, that's something that we know. What else am I circling, underline? Kim?
You circle 1/3 and underline of the fabric to make a quilt.
Okay. Ivy, what else is important?
We'll underline the question.
Okay. So who can tell me, based on the question, what is this question ask you? What are you trying to do, Bailey?
You're trying to figure out how much fabric does he use to make the quilt.
Okay. So what are some strategies we can use to solve this? We can do what, Michaela? We can do a number line. What else? Tape diagram, and what's another one? A what? An array. All right, so looking at this, which one do y'all think? Y'all we can do a tape diagram, okay? So how do we draw a tape diagram, Jacoby? Can't hear you. Draw a line?
Rectangle.
We're gonna go ahead and draw this rectangle, right? So as we draw our rectangle, what is already given from our problem that we can go ahead and put on there, Kira? 19. 19 is what? Is it our whole? Is the part where we put this 19 in? It's gonna be at the top, and we make sure that we accurately label it, right? So at the top, we have our total of 19 yards of fabric, okay? So we have our 19 yards of fabric as our total. Is any other information given to us that we can use right now? Delia? 1/3 of the fabric of the quilt. So how do we represent that in our tape diagram though? What can we do? Let's go ahead and go to class dojo. Don't be no hater. Kai?
So
How do we represent 1/3 in our tape diagram?
how we can represent 1/3 is by using multiples of 3,
Multiples of 3.
because 3 isn't a multiple of 19,
She said, how do we do that using tape diagram? She realized if we do that, we can list out multiples of 3, but then she says 3 is not a multiple of 19. So do y'all think that this strategy is effective or not? All right, go ahead and turn the talk. So now that we draw our tape diagram, if we know that that's not effective, what do we need to do? Turn the talk real quick. You need to do what? But 3 is not a multiple of 19, so what's gonna happen when your parts is what you need to figure out. If that's not a take diagram, it's not a effective strategy, you need to switch some stuff around. What you want? So we realize that diagram is not working for us. Which is what I'm asking. What's our other strategy? You also have an underline or an array. That's how much I think which one would be more effective is an array. So array, you also have to be able to divide into 3 groups as well. That's something you need to think about. We have Kayla who's ready. But we have to find an actual answer around the estimate. What do you think about that? All right, class.
Yes, yes.
All right, our eyes on Michaela in 3, 2, 1. Michaela, what do you think? We can use a number line, but why? Why are we choosing to use a number line? I heard some students say an array.
If you use an array, you still have to do groups of things.
You still have to take 3 groups, and this Kai has already told us that 3 is not divisible by 19. So our effective strategy is what? Using a number line. So in this case, we do our number line. What's going to happen? We have to what? You have to be able to partition it to how many groups? 19. So in this case, we have to start it off. So we'll have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully I have enough room. 8. So right now I'm just drawing my number line. I'm going all the way to 19 because 19 is our whole. Okay? 9, 10, 11. Uh-oh. 13. Alright, so with this one, we need to realize that you will have a very long number line. Excuse me, Ms. Ambrose, like is struggling right here when it comes to drawing a number line. So draw it the best of your ability. Just making sure it's important that you do have those 19 holes on there. And then what is the next key important thing that you have to put after you do the 19?
We have to partition, we have to merge.
We're gonna partition it into thirds, okay? So I'm gonna give y'all about a minute to go ahead and do that. And I'm coming around to look to see how we're progressing. Okay. Good, make sure you have the partition into thirds. Make sure you don't have the number twice. So I see we have 14, 15, oh, that's close together.
Okay.
Hmm?
Okay.
Oh, no, he's actually from 4th grade. He was choosing to think that he would leave it over in the 5th grade class now the math.
I'm gonna run down to band and choir and see if we can keep them for answer because it's almost 10 o'clock.
Okay.
We got about 4 minutes. They're done. They're just wrapping up.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna run down there and just see if we can take their answer today to do the showcase.
Okay.
I'll run back.
Alright, make sure it's wide enough so you be able to partition it, because you're gonna have to have some very small parts in there, okay? Alright, so I have Miss Kai, who is, not Kai, Ayana, who is finished. We're gonna look at your work real quick. Oh, we're gonna go back and look at that in just a second. Alright, come on, Kai. Ayana, I'm sorry, I don't know why I keep calling you. Alright, what do y'all think about Ayana's work real quick? Ayana, you're gonna go ahead and explain to us. I'm gonna go check in with the other class. And we'll be right there. Alright, explain it and then I'm coming right back.
So I basically partitioned it into thirds by adding 2 lines in each of the holes, and I put my 19 parts, and I
Why are you talking so low? What'd you say? Go ahead and go to the restroom. I thought you were trying to give her feedback. Yeah.
Something positive
That's why he was low.
she did is I love that she partitioned it, but I think she could have space like the number 1 and 2 out because looking at it, you can see that it's kind of bunched up on each other, and it might look like all values together, so it looked like it was just 4 lines in between.
Okay. Anybody else, Bailey?
I like that she went all the way to 19, but 1 and 2 are too close, so it looks like 12.
Okay, so making sure that we are spacing out. Thank you, Miss. Making sure that we're spacing out when it's time for us to do our number line. Because what's happening is, what do we gotta do next? You can tell me, what do we gotta do next? What's our next step after we do this number line? You don't tell me to take all my stuff off. Okay. We have to be able to do what? Wallace? You have your numbers 0 to 9, but our objective is to figure out what is 1/3 of the fabric to make a quilt. Coy, what do we have to do next? After we partition them into 19s, I mean, have a number line for 19s, we have to do what? I just kind of hinted to it. What do we do next? Talk a little louder. I can't hear you. Come on, baby. What do we do next? Yeah.
Oh, next we have to box 1/3.
Box 1/3. So in order to do that, what do we have to do for this number line? Kim?
When we box it, so first you need to add your lines over the line so you can see that you can actually box it.
We need to partition each one into what? Don't get quiet on me now. You remember I told you, even though somebody come in, that don't mean that they're checking for your behavior. They're checking to see that you are learning. So even when we have somebody come in, whether it's an administrator or another visitor, you still have that same energy. So what do we do next?
Partition it into thirds.
Exactly. Miss Johnson, can you tell them you're not checking for behavior?
I'm trying to learn 5th grade math.
They always think somebody coming in to check for behavior and shut down and get nervous, like, oh, I'm gonna try to act my best. No, still
Yeah,
talk. It's okay to
I'm
talk.
learning from y'all.
All right, so in this case, we're gonna partition into thirds. So go ahead if you have not already done so, Miss Michaela. What we do next?
You box it, and once you box it,
Be more specific about boxing, Kim. What do you mean by boxing?
a word that I should use is to break it, and then once you do it, I think you would shade it, and then once you do one, you have to go to it.
All the way to what? 19. So in this case, you're gonna take your number line, you partition in a third, you're shading in 1/3 from each hole. What we doing, Travis? Shading in what? 1/3 from each hole. So let's go ahead and do it. So we have this, well, I boxed it. So this will be 1/3, 2/3, and I'm adding as I go along so I won't have to go back and count it. So you can add as you go along, and eventually my number is gonna turn to an improper fraction. All right, start for the first one. We have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, 5/3, 6/3, 7/3. Make sure I'm not skipping anything. 8/3, 9/3, 10/3, 11, 12/3, 13/3, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and we have what? 19/3. So right now, we have 19/3 as, we're using our number line as the amount for how much Blake uses in the quilt. Do we leave that as 19/3? All right, I'm gonna give y'all a couple of seconds and see what would it be as a mixed number. Give me a thumbs up once you got it. got it? Okay, we're waiting on somebody from group A and group B. We got 19/3, change that to a mixed number. So when you change it to a mixed number, what are you asking yourself? I see you got your serious face on, Taiwan. What are you asking yourself? Somebody help him out. What is he asking himself when you change 19/3 into a mixed number? Ivy?
He's asking how many times the denominator goes into the numerator.
Equally. So how many times does 3 go into 19?
6.
It goes into there 6 times. Do you have anything left over? If you do, what do you need to do?
You add it to your whole.
What you mean by that? Add it to my whole.
Add 1/3.
You add it, change it to a fraction, so it'll be 1/3. So looking at our real world problem, we used the redraw right strategy to be able to solve this, in which we had to be able to read the problem. We drew our picture. What's the last thing? Our last thing was pretty much writing an equation. In this case, I could have wrote an equation. I could have wrote, I have 19 groups times 1/3, which would give me 19/3, or I could have did it as repeated addition, which I would have did 1/3, 19 times and added it. What's our very last step?
Write it in a statement.
Write it in a complete statement or write in a statement. So the question asks us, how many yards of fabric does Blake use for the quilt? What could we say?
Blake uses 19/3 of.
No, we didn't say 19/3
Blake uses 6 and 1/3 of fabric
for the quilt. Okay? Blake uses 6 and 1/3 of fabric to make the quilt. So, right now we just did our fluency lunch and we just did this little big chunk of 35 minutes in which you were all practicing and learning. We're about to move on. When we come back, you're gonna move on to your problem set as well as do your exit ticket, which we're also gonna talk about today's lesson. But before you do your problem set, I want you to think about what you think about, what is something that you learned today to help you when you do your problem set on the next page. Your problem set is gonna be on the next page, page 15. What is a strategy or something that can help you or someone else in the class? Kai?
The strategy that I learned that could help me or somebody in class was using the number line.